Hey everyone, Geeky guys here, Dave and Mr. P, back for our monthly update.
Our end of January catch up, meet up, Geeky guys sort out pretty much, isn't it?
Which this year is going to be at the towards the end of each month.
Yes, monthly roundup, every month of the year.
Yeah. Today we're talking just two things really. I say just two things, it's two kind of big things.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking Orville and Star Trek Discovery. So of course Star Trek Discovery has just started series 2.
It has.
We've just had the first episode and I must admit we're excited about the second one.
Yeah, very much so.
But more about that later. Orville.
Yes,
Yes.
we need to talk about that. That came out first, end of December, and we've been watching the episodes as they've been coming out. What do you think?
I haven't. I kind of binged watched them yesterday.
Well, yeah, you're a bit behind me. I was trying to cover up for that, but
Thanks.
you've
now.
dug yourself a hole again.
I caught up yesterday. Well, there's only one phrase you can use, isn't there? Which is bloody awesome.
Yeah, it's bloody good.
Basically, that's it. Fantastic. Seth MacFarlane's really caught that sort of TNG sort of late 90s Star Trek style, and done it really well.
Yeah, it's very light tone, isn't it? But lots of humour. But what's quite nice is, I think we've talked about this before, is they don't mind about going slightly darker every now and again.
No.
Going slightly serious as well as the humour as well, which I think has been important.
The series is kind of, it has gone a bit more serious. I think, I mean, we've said this a few times, when it first came out and we were looking forward to it, we saw the trailer, we did a video.
Yeah, that's right.
And we said, it looks really good, it's really funny, but it looks like it's going to be a really good sci-fi show as well. And what's happened is now it's become more so a good sci-fi show than it has.
As much as
the humour's
I'd say so.
Kind of set in place, and it's.
I think we said earlier the phrase we used was it's now sci-fi show in its own right, isn't it? It's not just copy of Star Trek, copy of Family Guy. It's a whole mix of elements from different things, from obviously Seth's different inspirations and things that he's liked. Yeah. But they've come together really nicely, haven't they, and so made it a really good show.
Yeah. And it's... You can see the parallels to Star Trek a lot, and we'll address that right towards the end of this segment. But the first episode, an alien that has to do a ritual and they have to go back to their home planet. How many times have we done that in Star Trek?
A fair few.
We had Spock with his Pomfar in the original series. We had Worf going back in TNG. All these things. Even Tuvok technically with his Pomfar had trouble, didn't he, on Voyager?
Yeah, even like Chakotay as well.
To go back and do something. And what did we get? Bortus has to wee.
Yeah, the weeing ceremony.
The weeing ceremony.
Hence why it's Seth MacFarlane. It was quite an interesting start to the series, wasn't it? And back to Mockless.
Apart from the fact that the initial, you want us to stand and watch you wee, it was all still done fairly seriously. Yeah, it was really good.
We'd love to. It'd be an honour. Why not?
Mind the splashback. Too
far. Good old Jalloja.
And then of course we kind of the main topics got a bit more serious then. We went on to Primal Urges, which had a planet being
a civilization in trouble, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Bulleting towards a star, and
it was being destroyed. They didn't realise there was one there. Spoiler alert, we are talking about these episodes, so if you've not seen them,
go and watch them. Pause this, go and watch them,
and then come back to it. So a dead planet, just what they thought was dead, being destroyed by a large sun, being engulfed, and there's still people inside the caverns on the planet.
And it was a very Star Trek thing as well, where they didn't initially pick up life signs, did they? Because of the scanners, which we've had a fair few times, but they pushed and checked it a bit more. Oh, hang on, subsurface culture, we better go and sort it out.
And
but Bortus nearly wrecked it and killed everybody.
Staying with Bortus again,
it's back to him again.
Pushing the envelope again in terms of topic, and there was a little bit of rumblings online about it when this came out.
Yeah.
Bortus its sex drive went a little bit.
It
crazy,
came into a bit of an obsession and a bit of a problem, didn't it?
In terms of Star Trek, he did a Reg Barclay. That's all we can say.
Reg was doing a Barclay, wasn't
he? Was doing a Barclay, and he needed to go and escape. In the holodeck, for want of a better.
Yeah, the return of the Rogue hologram program, which we've not seen for a little while.
No.
Not since probably, like you say, the 90s. But yeah, that was good fun. The fact that it turned into something that, although it was affecting his relationship, it wasn't affecting anyone else on the crew.
To start with.
And then he puts a dodgy program in, and suddenly everybody's lives are on the line. I think there was a bit of a backlash as well about the fact that the punishment they didn't feel was harsh enough.
It was more, I think some of it was more the actual fact that you've got these sort of naked Motlians engaged in these sexual acts on screen a little bit more than maybe was in things like Star Trek. But the whole idea has been explored before.
I think in this show as well, on that same subject, where we kind of say Star Trek's been in that kind of ballpark before, but because it's the Orville and Seth MacFarlane, they can go slightly forward along the line than Star Trek ever did. They can push the envelope a little bit more with it.
I think times have changed a bit now. You can get away with more now.
Yeah, definitely.
And that was good. We liked that. We then had the episode where Alara
goes home.
Yes. Sorry.
That's the layout.
And you'd said, actually, because you looked this up before it came out, to say she was getting out of it in this series.
We'd heard the rumblings a while back, but we wasn't sure how it was going to happen, or if it was temporary, full time, or whatever. And we still don't know now, really.
We still don't know.
Still could be either way.
To come back, but let's face it, as Star Trek fans, we love this episode for two
big reasons.
Two reasons. Robert Picardo.
And John Billingsley.
Who played the EMH on Voyager and Dr. Phlox, respectively. So two doctors.
Yeah, you can't go wrong, can you?
Which Robert Picardo shared on his Twitter.
Yes, he did. He shared quite a few photos. Quite a few photos of them two hugging in all sorts of positions on set, weren't they, from what I saw. But I thought his character was quite well written, John Billingsley.
Yeah.
Because it could have been very Floxy, but they kind of made it completely different.
Yeah.
He was quite a nasty, vindictive, horrible villain character.
And Robert Picardo's character was... I liked it because it was quite deep, and it was...
Yeah, it was quite deep and emotional, wasn't it?
Towards the end, you've got this father who thought he was doing right all along, and then realised all of a sudden he's actually been wrong for years.
And he's not known his daughter at all, has he?
No. So that was pretty good.
Yeah, I think it was a good story, very well written and very well acted as well. I think definitely one of the high points in the series so far. I think that one.
Yeah. And of course, it starred as a guest Jason Alexander, who'd also been in the previous episode as well. So he's been in the previous series.
He's been around Orville.
We'll see how many he pops up in this series.
As Olix, wasn't he? And we've got John Cassar directed this one, who's done quite a few Orvilles, hasn't he? So it looks like he's one of the main ones on the team this series.
Seth MacFarlane, especially last series and this series, is certainly pulling in slightly bigger names and well-known names for the Trek universe as well.
The other things I'll say to you as well is, as series development, have you noticed the budget seems to be a little bit better as well? Some of the shots of the ship and the planets and things just look really, really nice.
Yeah, absolutely. It's they've put a lot more into it, and it certainly shows on the screen that it's a lot better.
It does. It's looking really nice. Very cinematic.
And then we just had the most up-to-date episode, Nothing Left on Earth Excepting Fishes.
Interesting title.
I mistyped that earlier when I wrote that down. We were looking at our notes. I thought it was accepting.
You'd think it'd be accept, wouldn't you? But it's actually accepting.
Well, if you think about the content of the episode, it's about accepting each other, I suppose.
Yeah.
The Return of the Krill.
Yes. The nasty, horrible Krill.
Which I suppose could have been a working title. And I think, well, what I like about this is the fact that the villain's been there all along.
Yeah. Infiltrated the ship, the Union fleet, and been portraying a navigation officer, portrayed by Michaela McManus, of course, as Janelle.
Yeah, and although I wasn't 100% convinced about the explanation, just, oh yeah, we used some skin technology to make it.
Yeah, they didn't really show that in much detail,
Well,
did they?
that's a side issue.
I'd tell you what, I bet Lieutenant Gordon Beloy is happy he didn't get in there now. So that would have been his problem instead of Captain Mercer's.
Well, would he have got in there? She was there to infiltrate a captain, the ship, to get the captain's codes, and so he wouldn't have had a look.
Yeah, I suppose that wouldn't have ever happened.
But yeah, a nice episode, because this one, of course, was sort of written as well, co-written by Brandon Braga, who
yes,
was obviously
Brandon
a
Braga.
veteran Star Trek writer.
Yeah, I know him very well.
DS9 and Voyager. And so it did have a Star Trek feel to it.
Very much so, didn't it? Probably even more so in this episode than...
You just imagine like a runabout from DS9 getting caught, and that's...
Yeah, it did have a very DS9 element about it, didn't it?
You've basically got the Jem'Hadar, you've got a runabout, and it's part of the...
I was just going to say that. The Krill kind of remind you of the Jem'Hadar a little bit, don't they?
Yeah, they're not copying.
No, it's not a copy.
It's not a copy. It's just they took a good piece of inspiration from Trek, and
and we all know where they like their rental shuttles from, don't we? Avis. No. Moving on.
There's a tumbleweed just gone past. I thought you were going to say Enterprise.
Well, I could have if I was bringing in Star Trek, but it's kind of their god's Avis, isn't it? So rental shuttles, you had to go.
Yeah, so to be fair, to summarise, we're really liking this series of the Orville.
Yeah, we enjoyed it.
If anything, better than last series.
I'd say the way it's going, if it keeps up at the same level, it's going to be better than season 1, I think. I think they're doing a good job.
And just a quick mention on that last episode, Andre Barmanes, who was the science consultant on Star Trek, TNG all the way through up to Insurrection.
Even the movies, yeah.
Yeah, he's now involved in Orville, and he's also the science consultant on Orville, and he he co-wrote this episode as well.
Yeah. And when you go to look at some of the people that have come into directing Orville, like Robbie Duncan McNeil and Jonathan Frakes.
So Roxanne Dawson's coming to do one as well.
And supposedly, we've heard that Roxanne Dawson is going to come in and do one at some point. So they're certainly getting his experts in to make it as good as it could be.
Speaking of Star Trek, that leads us on quite nicely. We did mention we're going to talk about Discovery. We've only had one episode in Series 2.
We have.
What are your thoughts, Dave?
I think we've kind of talked about this a little bit the last couple of days, haven't we? And I think we've said that we kind of like the lighter tone. They brought a bit of humour in, which I think was something which was bashed upon quite a lot in season 1, that it was too dark, it was too gritty, it was too serious.
I mean, you take the Dominion War episodes in DS9, they were dark.
Yeah.
And yes, there were spatterings of humour, especially with your O'Brien and Bashir in the mix, and Quark, I suppose. Even Garak, to a point, brought light humour sometimes. But it was dark, it was a war, and that's...
It's pretty similar in Discovery Season 1, isn't it? Same sort of thing. And I think a lot of people found the humour, the little bits of humour there was in Season 1, they found it a little bit forced, maybe. A little bit disingenuous. There was the odd little bit, but I think, to be fair, it was the cast getting together for the first time, and you can kind of let them off for that if the chemistry is not 100% anyway. So you need a bit of time together, same as they did on TNG.
If we're honest, I think the majority of humour that came into Discovery was Captain Pike in this episode. He brought the most humour in, I think.
Yeah, serene a little bit as well.
Yeah, with his kind of relaxed style.
Yeah, I would say that definitely set the tone at the right level, didn't it?
I mean, I think Pike's going to be good for Series 2.
Yeah, I think so. And we've kind of seen already what the arc of the series is from the first episode, haven't we? The 4 or 5 red lights that they're travelling to. Is it a signal? Is it a threat? Is it a peaceful thing that they don't know?
I'm waiting for the Picard meme where it says, "There are 4 lights!"
There are 4!
That's going to come out soon at some point. This series is going to explain why we never have heard of Burnham.
Yeah.
Whenever we've spoken and whenever we've looked at Spock's
the
past.
Burnham-Spock relationship. But also, as we've already seen, we've had the Burnham-Sarek-Amanda relationship kind of being explored a little bit as well. So you kind of see her backstory even more. And that's going to be interesting to see how that fits in with Spock, and then how that lines up and attaches to the beginning of Enterprise with Kirk and Scotty and Bones and all that. That'll be quite interesting to see how they link it all together.
It'll be interesting to see how far through the series before we actually see adult Spock.
Yes.
Because we've heard him, but not seen him. Just
We're not seeing
voiceovers.
it yet.
We've seen young Spock played by Liam Hughes, which, just as a quick segue, also is in, I think it's like 4 episodes of this series credited so far.
Yeah.
He was also in 4 episodes of The Flash, playing
Yeah.
young Flash as well.
Playing young
So,
Barry Allen.
So that was that's quite a fun tip.
Yeah, it's quite a fun little thing that we did notice.
And called Brother, because obviously she
Yeah, it's like half sister, half
Sort
brother.
of
It's
kind of trying to
Step
reconnect
brother,
with
step
Spock.
sister.
We liked it.
yeah, I reckon so.
And we'll see what comes later in the series.
Yeah, I
It carries
think
on the same vein. Marvelous. Do you think they should have gone for the full Enterprise new uniforms, or should he have gone into a Discovery uniform? Or when he said, "Well, we've got the new uniforms," why did the Discovery crew then just not get the new uniforms?
well, you'd have thought so, wouldn't you? I suppose it's
I mean, from a production point of view,
Yeah.
you can see why they didn't do that. That's
Yeah.
fine. He gets into a Discovery one because he's on Discovery.
yeah. And I suppose is it because they're a science vessel on Discovery and
I want to,
Enterprise is a different class? Is it maybe that I don't know, maybe just a thought.
I wouldn't have thought so. But I
Um,
mean, you could argue it in DS9 because they had the DS9 uniforms opposed to the Starship
yeah,
uniforms. For
but I think
TNG.
we would like to see the more original series style uniforms coming in at some point during Discovery.
maybe they'll
to work
phase them in
towards that.
towards the end of this series, or maybe
Exactly.
maybe not. Maybe they'll stick with the Discovery ones. I like
Yeah.
the Discovery ones.
I mean, we don't know how close it's going to get to Star Trek original series.
No, I mean,
How many seasons of Discovery are we going to have? Is it a 3 or 4? Is it 7 and 8?
well, Pike
We don't know.
is saying that he was on his 5-year mission, and they've just come back. So
Yeah.
have they come back at the end of the 5 years? Because they were ordered to stay away from the war.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
have
Yeah.
they come back early? Because we know Pike does his 5 years, and we know that Kirk takes over to do the second 5-year mission.
That's right.
So this is kind of somewhere in between that, I would have thought.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yes. I'm assuming so.
You guys can correct us if we're not
Yeah.
sure. But
Yeah, we're assuming it's at the end of the first 5-year mission, but maybe it isn't. Like I say, maybe it's a pause
Maybe
and he
it
comes
came
to
back
Discovery
early.
for a bit and he goes back and does a bit more before Kirk comes in.
yeah.
We don't know, but certainly be interesting to see how it goes on. And from the first episode, it's certainly feeling a lot more like traditional Star Trek. It's a lot lighter, and it looks like we've got a good series arc to dig our teeth into in this second series. And exploring young Spock, I think that's going to be popular, isn't it?
Yeah,
Maybe
well,
a bit more about him.
he's credited obviously in I think 4 episodes up to yet. Was it 4 or 5? 4 I think up to yet.
And of course,
So-
we know that Sarek has had a very interesting life as well, from sort of appearances in TNG and Voyager and bits and bobs. So it'll be interesting to see a bit more of him as well.
I'm not sure if they'll go too far down that route. Maybe a little bit, but only if
I
it
don't
affects principal
The story,
cast.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, we're really loving it. Orville and Discovery, and well, let us know what you think. As always, we will be coming back at the end of next month
We will.
to have another catch up to see what's been happening, and we'll also be putting out some new unboxing videos. Stay tuned for those. We've got the brand new special, which is the Space Dock, come out. We've got 2 from the Discovery collection. We've got a 13th Doctor still to look at, and a couple of other starships as well.
And I think we're very much looking forward to hearing a bit more about the Picard series as well that Alex Kurtzman's
Yeah.
working on, aren't we? With Patrick
Yeah.
Stewart. So we'll keep looking out for little nuggets of that, and obviously we'll share it when we get it.
When we get it, yeah.
I think that covers us for this month. I think. Pretty much.
There's not been much, to be honest, to talk about.
We pretty much had Christmas and New Year's, haven't we? And there's been, some little bits. Orville and Star Trek coming back is big enough, really, isn't it?
Yeah, the DC shows have been carrying on in the background, and we'll have a quick talk
Yeah.
about those next time.
That's one for next time, definitely.
So yeah, let us know what you think, and well, we'll catch you next time.
We'll catch you next time.